Suspects have been captured in connection to a Whiteville shooting. Whiteville police say the shooting happened near Ward Street last Thursday. Officers have found and captured Dale Freeman and Zion Willis. Both face charges including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Police say shots were fired between people in a vehicle and a house. 3 other suspects are already being held without bond. Anyone with any additional information is asked to call 911.